one or three people left in the next 30 days, are you growing? Are you crumbled? Are you decimated?
If I say, hey, why don't you take every Friday off from now on?
Yeah.
And your eyes get big, like, okay, we just failed the test and and this is what we need to figure out, right?
All right, Wayne. So I love it when we talk to team leaders. They come to E4, E5, and they're like, I got a team. I'm good. Like I'm crushing it. And the question gets asked, like, so if one or three people left in the next 30 days, are you growing? Are you crumbled? Are you decimated? Right? Like, can you sustain that? Like, is your model scalable and are you at scale? And so you see people kind of shrivel up because, I mean, let's be honest, if you're a high performing agent or team leader and you're doing 30 to 50 deals a year, but you're still stuck in every decision making, you're kind of like, what is it, the popular kid in school, but I don't know if you're really the team captain.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that the test is, and our fractional integrator Isabel was talking about the other day, right? If I say, hey, why don't you take every Friday off from now on? And your eyes get big, like, okay, we just failed the test and and this is what we need to figure out, right? It starts with taking every Friday off, or at least the ability to take every Friday off. And then let's work to a week and let's work to 30 days. But like if I go, hey, you should take every Friday off, you're like, I want all those things captured. And let's start figuring out what of those can we create answers to, right? So somebody says, hey, should I, give them a refund? Are you the only person that can answer that? Or is there a nice flow chart that explains yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, and ends at the answer? So he goes, where do we get lock boxes from? Is there a resource guide that shows where you guys get everything from and nobody has to ask you? These are the things that we're talking about. And you've got to build, we call them assets, an asset one at a time so you actually have a great business.
Yeah, and I think more so, I like to push team leaders because it comes from experience, but like, what's your plan? And I don't mean like, what's your goals, how many deals, but like, what is your plan? Because I think most teams get started ad hoc. I do a lot of deals. I need help. Oh, you're cool. You're new. Come do some open houses. Oh, look, we have a team, right? But like, legitimately, don't start unless you have the end in mind. So like, are you going to try and get out of production, which could happen because you can't coach a football team if you're the quarterback, right? You can't see it all if you're in the trenches doing the most work. So I think that's where a lot of people got to stop and really take a break, because what's happening is there is no plan, and then they just handle the problems as they come, and there's no way to solve them because there is nobody to solve them. And so I know we get real redundant in this stuff, but I wanted to hit people between the eyes of like, what is your plan? Like, just what is your plan?
Yeah. And I think most people think scaling or growing a business means another agent, another assistant, more volume. And that can be components, but usually that just creates more chaos. What you've got to do is figure out, how do we get more done in less time, in a sense? And it comes from these other things. So when you look at this, here's the thing to think of. Solution one is define every outcome of the role, not just the task. So here's how we handle listings, and having a clear, measurable ownership of that. And I think it comes down to these three things. Like, does every role have a clear outcome? Do they have clear success metrics? And then do they have the authority to go take that action? And I think that one of the things that people can't do is they can't define the role. They can't define the 2 or 3 outcomes that are critical from this role. And then they haven't really given authority over in that role. So I think when you start looking at that, it gets really, really clear on where the leaks are.
And if you don't have that and the plan, then I know we talk about E45 a lot, but like, you need to get your ass in a room like that, because, or, whether it's your brokerage or whatever, but you need to get your ass in a room like that, because it's okay that you don't know that. You're probably not supposed to know that because you've not done that before. You're a criminology major from college. Like, what do you know about it? But you need to have that, hey, this many deals, we bring on another person. This many deals, we bring on another person. Instead of, I've got 10 people and a tenth of the deals I need for them, right? You like, grow intelligently. And as you grow intelligently, the systems go with it. They grow together. But so much, man, we're just trying to dodge dodgeballs all day long. And we're like, oh, that's cool. Let's just do that. And it's just, you got to be tired. I know you coach people like that all the time. They're just exhausted and they don't know why, and they don't know how to stop.
Yeah. Yeah. And oftentimes so many things are coming at them that could easily be answered or done by somebody else. And I think one of the biggest misconceptions about leverage is that day one, you're going to get your time back. And here's the thing. When you first, I was working with Ann this morning, working this exact same thing. I was like, man, I'm so proud of you for pushing through, because she's hiring a virtual assistant, and she's like, I feel like I have two jobs. And I'm like, you do, right? As of right now, you have two jobs. You have your job, and then you have the job of giving away some of your job to this person and raise them up. So you have two jobs right now. She's like, I thought I was going to get my time back. I'm like, not yet, right? And here's the thing that keeps creeping in her mind. I could just do this on my own. I could just send this report. I could just order the lockbox. I could just make this post. And that's the temptation most people fall back to. And then they end up in this cycle for 20 years. And it's Bob the plumber with maybe a helper every once in a while. Because in the beginning, you get two jobs in the beginning. Then eventually you get that person raised up. And once they're raised up, you still don't get your time back because now you just have more time to go do the lead generation and business building things. Right. So even once they're raised up, you still haven't got your time back in a sense or got freedom. Then from there, we start giving some things away. So walk us through what are some of the core revenue drivers and some of the systems we need to have behind those?
Yeah, I think it starts the core. So you're probably, if you're a team leader, you're probably the leader by default because you have the most business. That's what I would guess, right? Like you're probably not the best leader, or you could be, or you may not like being a leader or the person, right? But you have the business. So the core revenue drivers I would recommend is start with your buyer process. How do you handle buyers? What do you say? When do you sit down and you document that? So that way you can take an agent on and go, here's what I want you to do. When I get a buyer that I want to give away, here's what I expect you to do, right? So I think that's one of them. Then you also have to do the follow-up system. Most agents don't have a good follow-up system. They just don't. But you got to trust but verify. Trust that they're going to do it, but verify they do it by making them do it through a system. And if you have any kind of CRM, follow-up boss or anything, they have templated systems in there already. The kicker is you're the leader and you can only lead by the expectations that you allow. So therefore, you've got to block 10 minutes every day and go, did Sally Sue do the follow-ups like I asked? Because if she didn't, it's not that she didn't make money. You lost it because you gave it away and you could have done it, right? So you can only lead to the level of your expectations.
I had a client who found out they had 300 hot leads that were being nurtured and then just got dropped because they changed something in the system. And because he wasn't investigating and they hadn't created a new process, the 300 people who were like warming up and getting ready to go just got abandoned overnight without any idea until like 2 years later. Crazy. So here's the core steps. If you're writing this down, trigger, we have a new buyer. Step 2, a checklist. Here's what we do. When we get a new buyer, here's the list. Step 3, who's responsible for what on that list? And then step 4 is what's the outcome? What's the expectation from this? And if you just do that simple thing for new buyer, new lead, follow up, seller, like do that process, it's going to get pretty beautiful overnight.
Yep. And then as you take yourself out, you replace yourself with the system, you put the next person in, they follow the system. And that's how you buy back your time because you're leveraging other people's time to do what you're not doing. So you can do more of what you're good at.
Yeah.
But
it's simple. As simple as like every time the house gets pictures, the photographer sends them to me and then I have to send them to the team. It's like, no, how about they just copy me on it? Or how about like I just get a notification and they just automatically go to where they're supposed to go. Little things like that, these little cogs that you remove one, it's kind of cool. You remove 20, all of a sudden you got 3 hours back.
That's it. That's the main thing I see with producers when they go, it's just easier for me to send the email. It is that one. But if you're doing 100 of those a day at 30 seconds a piece, right? Now you're at 50 minutes. That adds up quick. It's death by 1,000 cuts. So take the 50 minutes, create the system. So that way you've gained back 50 minutes the rest of your life. It's a mindset shift. And I think that's also where people have to identify. And I know we'd say this a lot, like, but are you the leader? Are you the person to do this? And is a team really benefiting you? I've really asked people that all the time. What do you get out of this? If you're the one making all the money, having all the expenses, they don't really help because they're kind of half-ass in and out doing things because your systems don't make them accountable. What's the point? Just to say you have 10 people on your team, but yet you're producing like 11? Like that doesn't help. Or producing like you're 2, I guess. But
the math.
But it feels so good to say I have 10 people on my team. I have 400 agents, but we produce like we have 100. Like that's not what we want, y'all.
And I think here's the challenge. I would challenge everyone to do an identity check. And is my identity, and this is where a lot of it is, this is where it was for me, is your identity on how many people on your team and how many transactions you did? Or is your identity on the other side, which is, right? How little you do and how much money you made, how much freedom you created. I didn't miss a kid hockey game because I have all this in place, right? If your value and your identity is I work more than anybody else, right? I do it all. We did this many transactions. I have this many people, right? Like if that's your identity, you are headed towards a cliff or a life where your kids don't call you in their 20s because you ignored them for the last 15
Correct.
years. Or are you over here going like, oh, there's another thing I got off my plate. I'm celebrating the things I don't do anymore. I'm celebrating the decisions I gave away. I'm celebrating the net. I'm celebrating that it used to take me 40 hours and now it takes me 10. Let's change the scorecard. And if you really want a trophy, you go buy one on Etsy for $8. Okay. The one that some random brokerage sent you and you feel good about, nobody else gives a shit about. And it probably cost you $100,000 for an $8 trophy. Let's change the scoreboard and what you're actually valuing.
And I know I can feel it. People are out there going, yeah, it's easy to say, but it's really hard to do. Like, no shit. That's what you have to decide. Yeah. Do you want to do this hard thing? Because you don't have to, guys. I hope my agents don't watch this. I know I could make more and probably sell more with 2 showing assistants, my staff, and not 19 agents, right? Like if I had it dialed in, if I had it ready, but I spent years and years to perfect it. And I also want to tell people, we put our money where our mouth is. Tomorrow, I was supposed to be leaving about 3:00 to go to a dance competition. It got moved up. We have to leave at 10 a.m. Canceled a bunch of stuff, but it's still going to happen. People are still going to go on. 10 listings are going on tomorrow, but it's taken time. And so you either spend the time or you hire the people like Wayne to help minimize that time to a place that you can leverage it and get it done. So
I think a lot of people get stuck in the how, and that's exactly what we do at E4 and E5. So at E4 and E5, that's where you have multiple people in the room that have done multiple different models, some that have worked, some that haven't. They've discovered a lot along the way. And then we're literally going to get a whiteboard out and go like, here's how to structurally do this. Here's how to architect this. Here's the steps. Here's like we're going to build that out. We're not just going to talk about it. We're actually going to build you out and give you a path to go implement. And I think that's the power, is not just, it sounds nice. Like you're actually going to get a clear roadmap that's tailored to you from people that have been there and done it, not just some ideas from a YouTube video.
Yeah, absolutely. No, 100%.
So get in the room.
Yes. Link, bio, click on it, apply, try it.
Apply.
Hey, real quick, if you're liking this content, imagine having a full day immersed with people that are on this like us, that are learning from each other.
Man, we do these kind of events, these intensive, a couple times a year. And if you know that you are the smartest person in the room and you need to get in some other rooms, this is the place to be, right? So apply, send us a message right now. We'll send you the application link and see if you are the right fit to be in one of the rooms.